for the beginning, I just want to do a little bit of introduction how the Vassal Imperial Assault plugin works, how to get it, where to get it, how to use it, and all of the good stuff. Are you on Vassal already?
Yeah, just too many windows.
Okay. Yeah, if you can go up there, it would be good. So I can show how to enter games or to open your own games and whatnot.
I'm on the main room.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm coming soon. Okay, so since Antonia is not, yeah, she'll come somewhen. So the the primary focus of this stream and video will be how to use all this Vassal IA plugin stuff and whatnot. So the first thing about Vassal is it's an online board game simulator, I'd say. It's like an online tabletop simulator. And you can anyone can write plugins for it. Someone has already done this for Imperial Assault, and I think a few days ago, 2 days ago, there was a release for all of the available material, which includes also the Alliance Smuggler and the Panther Raider, so it's up to date. It should have all of the stuff you need to play Skirmish, especially for the tournament, our upcoming tournament. So where to get it? There is a Board Game Geeks thread by the guy, Trevor Payton, who actually built this add-in, and he did it a little bit. He did a post on Board Game Geeks, and if you, I will of course give the link to this Board Game Geeks thread in the video description on YouTube. If you are on Twitch right now, you're probably not seeing it if you're late. So whatever, just go to YouTube or search for Imperial Assault Skirmish on Vassal on the Board Game Geeks forums for Imperial Assault, and you should find it. After you have been there, the first thing you need to do is download Vassal, which is like it's a board game engine. You just download it, install it. It should create a folder similar to this. It should have an exe in there, and in this you should also store your Imperial Assault plugins or the versions of the plugin. After this, follow the actual link he posted in the thread, which is a link to his repository of these different versions of the plugin. So right now the current version is version 5, including all of the new Panther Rider and Alliance
Smuggler. Just it runs on Java, so you can also play under Linux. It works just out of the box.
It should be platform independent. Is there a Mac client also? Yeah, there should be.
I never tested it, but it should also work.
So it supports all 3 major operating systems like Windows, Mac, and Linux. So you should be able to run this on any system you have, unless it's like mobile also. So after you downloaded the Vassal mod, I'd suggest you put it in the Vassal folder, just slap it in there, and then double click on the mod, which should already, if you installed Vassal correctly, it should install the mod itself. If you are working on Linux, I don't know if it works on Linux this way. You can also open up Vassal, which brings up either an empty module library or if you already have some modules. It should already have the Vassal tour, but it's none of our interest. So you can also open a module, which will be then directing you to the Vassal folder, and then you select just the module you want to open. Open the module, and this sounds like Antonia, right? Yeah.
Or you can go just file open and then open the file, right?
Yeah. So what do I want to say? Yeah. Then it's processing image types, which for me, since version 4, happens all the time. So it takes a while to load. After this, you should be set to go. There should be a window opening, like right now. Takes a little bit of time. Okay, so here you get the option. Here you get 3 options to start a game. First, you can start an offline game, which we don't do. You can also load a saved game. How save games work, I'm probably not going to show it, but you can try it out for yourself. It's pretty straightforward. What we're actually going to do is look for a game online. Which brings us to Yeah, I'm already in there. Why? I'm in there twice. Whatever. So
did you start the correct version, or did you?
Yeah, I should. Yeah. What?
Did you run 5.0 or 1.1?
I'm not sure actually. I think I loaded 5.5.0. Let's close down Vassal and start again. I'm just clicking on. I'm opening up Vassal differently, so it's a little bit confusing for me right now. So, in the online window, you see people opening up rooms, and these rooms double for like game rooms. Yeah, launching in online mode when it's finished. And on the online mode, you can create simple rooms which you can invite people. I don't know if you can invite people, but you should be able to. Let's see if I can invite Hendrik here. So here you have a new game. I can call this Twitch 1. So I created a new room, which just me is in there, and then I can you go out of it, Hendrik? Just for a moment. Do you know if I can invite you? Oh, there's no invite.
There's profile and messaging.
Yeah. And
changing the rooms you have to do yourself.
Before you join in there, let me just. Now you can also lock the rooms. This will be important for later. You can't join right now, correct? Because it's locked.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So via right click on the room, you can lock and unlock the room, which will be important for later. So if you want to join, that will be fine now.
There I am.
Yeah. Also, simultaneously to this server window, there will also be the Imperial Assault Skirmish window open, which is your actual game window, I would say. And this is your hub to access all of the different functions of the module. First of all, you need to load a mission. Like it's the creator of the module said that he will only include all current tournament missions or legal tournament missions. For this moment, this is Kuwait Space Station, Mos Eisley Cantina, and Training Grounds. This is like early in 2016, so if you're watching this later, might be a different maps in there. To start this off, we will select one of the Training Grounds missions, and then you can choose to be one of the 4 players. So the game already, or the plugin already supports 4 players, so if you manage to get your 4-player half map in there, you can also play it in 2v2 or free-for-all mode. But for right now, I will just pick to be player 1, and the game actually has started. But before we do anything, let's see if I didn't forget anything. Yeah, kicking players. Yeah, I could now, if I lock the room, I could now kick Hendrik out, which I'm not going to do because I'm not that mean. And this is important if you have some people being intrusive and interrupting your gameplay. You can just get rid of them by locking the room and then kicking them. Kicking only works if the room is locked, so you have to lock the room first. Then you have the option to kick persons or people. If it's not locked, you'll see that you can't actually get rid of people. So just keep that in mind. So after we loaded the actual mission, we have the first you should do is open up the map, which is this beautiful button here, which brings up a map overview over the mission. This also always includes the mission card, which has the rules for the current mission. In this case, it's the Deception game from the Training Grounds, and it's telling us about the terminals and what to do with the terminals and whatever. It also loads up mission tokens if they are required for the current scenario. In this scenario, I think we have to place these mission tokens on our deployment cards, and if they are destroyed, then something happens and the opponent might get points, or you might to be able to draw command cards or whatnot. So after this,
so
yeah.
sure. Maybe I'm not synchronized right now because you already have the map and I don't.
Yeah, you in the new version. Previously, the map would open by itself, but now you actually have to click on the map button in the Imperial Assault window. So
yeah, it's still grayed out.
It's grayed out.
Mm.
That's interesting. Did I?
I can see the map.
And maybe when I rejoined the room,
okay.
Maybe
you
load.
Have you joined?
Yeah, now it loads, and now I can.
Yeah, I joined as an observer.
Okay,
though.
so usually if you click on the map, it should be displaying for.
Now I can load the map
in the room. So after this, you have to create your army, and for this you should open first of all the cards, figures, and tokens button, or click on the cards, figures, and token button to open the designated window, and then click on player one hand. These are wait, let's drag this over a bit, make it smaller. These are this is your hand, and these are the available cards. You can just select some of these cards and drag them over, like this is a deployment card, or the same with command cards. It's a command card, and build your deck here. After you've finished this, you should place all of these cards on the designated deck space here. Just ignore the figures for now. And after you did this, you can just save them. I'd suggest to save it either in the Imperial, in the Vassal folder, or somewhere where you know where it is. Give them their appropriate names. I currently work with like some name for my deck, then command cards, or the name for my deck and deployment cards, which enables you to do the following. So let's get rid of these cards with like this. So after you dragged all of these cards over and built your deck, you just save it, and after you loaded the plugin the next time, you can just click here on load up the command cards.
So every deck is a single save file, right?
Yes, you should. Yeah. You can put it all in the same save file, but it's a little bit confusing then. So
it's new right now. It's new, right? That the command deck is also the deployment deck.
Yes, the deployment deck is this. The hand also shows the deployment cards. This is new. Yeah. So yes. This previously you had to place the deployment cards on the table, which made the table a bit crowded. Right now it's better, but you lose the ability to quickly see what your opponent already has used or so. Okay, first thing to note when you actually loading the decks and pulling up cards, they are usually all hidden. So for the deployment cards, you have to unhide them. So just select one of the cards, either right click and select hide reveal, or select more cards and just press Control and H, which does the same, like this. You shouldn't do this with the command cards, of course, because when you reveal them in your hand, your opponent can also see them. So, Hendrik, can you... you're player 2, right?
Yeah, I'm 2.
That's correct? Okay, so let's see. Can you pull up some cards in your hand? Yeah, so can you hide it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so usually... if you're watching or if you're looking at hands from other players, you should see a bunch of commands cards that are not revealed. And on this side, it actually looks like this. It is the back of the card, so it looks a little bit hidden, but you can actually see the in your own hand what's on the bottom of the card. So in this case, it would be element of surprise, even though Hendrik has no way of telling that it really is it. So. After this, we are basically, so you should open first and a second player hand. First player hand should either be you or your opponent. Second player hand, vice versa, should be either you or your opponent. And then you are basically ready to start the game. For this, you need to create the figures, which you select your deployment cards, and then right click, create figure, or just select them and press Ctrl F. And
also drag and drop them from the list of figures if you want to.
Yeah, you can, of course. You can also create them here, but usually it's a bit easier to just select all of your deployment cards and create figures by this means.
Yeah, and so you have to create them several times if you have several figures in a group.
Yes, that's for if you have 2 or more figures in a group, you have to create more than one figure from the same deployment card. But so I'm just putting them down together here. and then putting them on the map, which means they are ready to go. And after this happened, you should actually be doing what? Let's see. Is it on my? Yeah, token interaction. You should be doing something like creating a log file if you want to. So for playing, what is usually a good idea if you want to record the game is begin a log file at the start of the game, which in this case we will call Twitch log 1, and then Twitch stream, and then the Vassal automatically creates a log file which you can after the game load again, and after you load it again you can play it, and you see the game happening like from a replay perspective. So after this, Henrik, do you have a list ready to just show off how deployment and all of this stuff works?
I have a list, yeah, but I have to drag and drop all of them.
Oh, you don't have it saved?
I have a save file for my command card, so it's rather quick.
Okay. Oops. So while Henrik is getting his list ready, I will. Usually you have to see who's deploying first and observe all the skirmish rules. But for this demonstration, I will just deploy my figures right now. You can see the deployment zones in marked on the map. In this case, we have a deployment zone on the middle right and down right, and a deployment zone on the bottom middle and to the left bottom. You'll see. I will put her here. Where is Diala? This is Diala. Then put him here, like this. I don't know, maybe like this. Okay, after this you should open up your player window, draw your first 3 command cards, and you're basically ready to go. Let's say I have initiative, just for the sake of argument right now. Take a last look at the actual rules for the mission, which is after setup, each player places 1 face down red or blue neutral token on one of his deployment cards, and depending on which deployment cards he places it on, these tokens have a mission effect after the group with this token on are defeated. So we need to actually get them somewhere in my... Wait, how do I... Okay. Like this, and I will place them, first hide them, so they are neutral now, so I know what there is. I'm just randomly distributing them now. Wait, maybe not Gideon, like this. So the other player should be able to see the tokens too. So if he looks at my hand, he can see these tokens. And previously we were playing like this with all of the deployment cards on the table, but like I said, you can still play like this, but of course it's a little bit more tidy to play with the cards in your actual hand. Okay.
Another thing to notice is that you can set group numbers. If you have several figures from 2 different cards, you can mark which group the figures are in, like Henrik did at the top right.
Second stormtroopers are now number 2.
Yeah, and you do this by right-clicking and setting the group numbers. Maybe you can show it.
Yeah, where is it? Set damage. View cards. Oh, I have to select them single, right? Set number. Wait, is it possible to create? Yeah. Set number, so I can select number 7 or 8, doesn't matter. And then I can also, the next would also be 7. So they are both number 7 now. And in my hand I can also do the same with the deployment card, like this.
Yes.
So they are now, the deployment card corresponding to the number 7, and my figures are also corresponding to this deployment card.
Yeah, and each token, it has basically 4 different interesting things. First of all, the rim of the figure, it's elite or non-elite, if it's red or gray. And at the top right corner is the damage the figure already took. so far in the game.
Bottom right, correct?
Bottom right, sorry.
Yeah.
And in the bottom center, there is like the symbol. Right now it's activated in all the figures. And it basically says that the figure has already been moved during the round, so it has been already activated. And you can remove this move marker.
Movement indicator, I think it's called.
Yes, movement indicator at the very top in the bar on the right side.
It's right beside the line of sight indicator.
And also you can also right click on the figure you want to remove it from and then set mark removed or mark unmoved. And that's helpful if you, for example, have Gideon commanding people and the figure itself has not been activated yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfectly right. So you can also make all figures mark unmoved by clicking on this button at the top. So right now all figures are marked unmoved, but as soon as I take a figure and move it one space, it's marked move again. So if you're having figures like Gideon who can use tactical maneuver to choose another friendly figure to move it 2 spaces, or to give it 2 movement points, this would actually be a bit of a misindication. But you don't have to play with these movement indicators. If you're keeping a good eye on what's happening, you should know which figures are still activating and which are not. Okay. After this, let's see what's next on my list. Preparing, saving, loading, token interactions, targeting and loss. Okay, so wait, this is player 2. I need, for what actually needs to happen is also you need to roll dice, and for this there's a special window in Imperial Assault in the plugin, which is the dice window, and I have already all of these windows set up. So they fit on my screen. You have to probably, if you want to arrange them differently, you can. But yeah, it depends on what you want on your screen. So the dice work a little bit different in the last 2 versions. You look at your card, what you're actually rolling. In this case, it would be Luke Skywalker, who is rolling with blue, green, and yellow. And by the way, if you're hovering over cards, the card usually is zoomed in and enlarged right beside your mouse cursor, so you can read the text a little bit more easy. So he's attacking with blue, green, and yellow. Let's say I started the round, and I am using Luke Skywalker to attack the door here. First I need to check if I'm having line of sight. There's a neat little tool for that, which is the line of sight indicator. You're using it to point on, to click on a corner, and then click on the next corner, and see if you can draw line of sight to there. Let's say I will target this. Oh wait. Let's say I will target. I'm too stupid to use it now, but yeah. You have to actually hold it, I think.
Yeah, it's drag.
It's drag and drop, yeah. So you click on the corner and then you can see where it can actually hit. It's pretty straightforward, so it should be easy to use. So, but if you're ever not sure on if you can reach some target with your attacks, this is a nice and easy way to make sure that you actually can hit it. So after this, I will mark. You can also. This is also optional. I will mark Luke as the attacker. So he gets a neat little green icon, and I can mark the door. I can't mark the door as defender because the door technically is not a figure and because of this it doesn't defend really. But I could mark this this stormtrooper or snowtrooper as defender, and this way I would see who's attacking, who's defending, and do I have line of sight or whatnot. So you can clear this. These indications, of course, again, if you're doing the same, like targeting attacker, targeting defender, targeting defender, targeting attacker. So you can just clear them after the attack. So for actually rolling the dice, we will use the dice app. I already forgot what dice we're rolling. So blue, green, and yellow. And the door, I think, doesn't actually roll, so it doesn't need to roll a defense die. So I'm rolling. I'm right-clicking on the dice I want to roll, and then select how many of this dice I want to roll. So in this case, it's 1 blue, it's 1 green, and it's 1 yellow. So like this. And then theoretically, I can't reroll now because Luke doesn't have any ability to reroll. He does give other figures in the vicinity the ability to reroll, but he can't himself. But just for the sake of the argument, if you would be able to reroll a dice, you just select it, the dice you want to reroll, right-click and click reroll. Then you would be getting the appropriate chat messages on what actually changed, and also see it in the dice set. So this would be how to roll the dice, and then you of course add up all of your damage, add up your surge abilities, and you see how many damage you actually are dishing out. So in this case it would be 3 damage and +2 from Luke's ability to take a spend a surge for +2 damage. So 5 damage against the 1 block of the door would be 4 damage, and I think there is a token for this too.
Yeah, but the door also has no health in the normal case.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I think in this mission it has health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally you don't need it because the door can just be opened. But for this, if you want to signify the damage the door has taken, just go to the tokens. Use a damage token, either a 5 damage or a 1 damage token. I'd suggest a 1 damage token, and you can actually add a note, which in this case would be 4. I think I dealt 4 damage, alright? So in this case the door had 4 damage, and you would continue to do this until the door is gone, and then you can move the door away from the map and get rid of the damage token again. Getting rid of tokens and figures is quite easy. You actually just right-click and click delete, or press Ctrl X and it's gone. Same happens with the door. And if you ever accidentally delete them, you can of course summon another door. If I can find it, there it is. Like this, and you probably have to rotate it like this. So you can just, if you accidentally delete tokens or terminals or other tokens, you can just get rid of them. So let's say the door is gone, but Hendrik already moved with some of his stormtroopers and killed in his attack, killed Luke. What would I do? First I would need to set damage. In this case, first he might have suffered 5 damage, and then the second one he might also have suffered 5 again, which would bring him to 10 damage. In this case he would be defeated, and I'd actually have to get rid of him. Put him over here, place him on his deployment card, and then to show the other player that this figure is defeated, it's best to hide reveal the deployment card so it doesn't actually confuse your opponent on which figures are actually in play and not in play. First, of course, he needs to be exhausted, of course, because he already attacked. So in this case, he would be exhausted and would be defeated. And this additional rule about the token would also trigger. So, and of course, the same happens if you are playing with the deployment cards on the actual table. Okay, let's see if there's anything I missed. Defeated groups, yes. Command cards, commander and discard pile. This is also very important, which I constantly forget. Leia is one of the first figures who has the ability to manipulate already played command cards. In this case, let's say I played Element of Surprise. For this, you just drag it to the table, hide reveal it. So in this case, Hendrik would be able to see the card. After I played it, I would just place it like here or so, or let's place it here. And then after I played the next card, I would place it like this over it. So when Leia attacks, she can actually use military efficiency to choose 1 command card in your discard pile and shuffle it back into your command deck. For this, you would just drag it over to your hand again, and place it on the deck. The deck automatically shuffles each time you put a card in it, or you draw a card. So it doesn't actually matter. You cannot not shuffle the command card deck when you are putting cards in it. So in this case, the rule is followed automatically because you need to shuffle it into your deck. So this is how you would use command cards and a discard pile for command cards, which is a little bit of a new concept in Imperial Assault. Defeated groups we already showed, and now on to victory points. Let's see. Nope, I wanted to display this and maybe the dice. Victory points. I already. So let's say Henrik already defeated Luke, which would give him 10 victory points. So on his side there is a victory point counter, and on my side there's a victory point counter. You can manipulate this by right-clicking again and modify kill victory point counters, which are awarded when you are defeating enemy deployment groups, or modify objective victory point counters, which happen when you are like controlling terminals or picking up crates or whatever. So in this case, set it to 10 because he defeated Luke Skywalker, and after these combined reach 40, then the corresponding player already has won. So this is how you do victory points. End of activation, end of round. Okay, that's quite easy now. So after you are done with your activation, it's easier to let your opponent know that you are done so by clicking the green turn, the green arrow, of course. So this would be end of turn. In this case, I'm done with Luke. This gives Henrik like an audible sound that he can start his activation now. And after everyone has activated, it's usually also the best to click on the red arrow, which would be like the end of the round or so. And then both players draw the commands cards. You've passed over the initiative token, and then you would start the next round. So this is how you do how you use these two arrows. And last but not least, we also have screenshots and logs. If you are playing in a tournament, I already showed you how to create a log file. If you're done with the game, just click on End Log File, and it will say log file written, and you can send this in as a proof of your game or proof of your victory, or just take a screenshot with the kill victory point or the actual victory points visible and the map visible, and it should be good too. So this is how you submit your victories to the actual tournament. So I think that's it on how to use Vassal, at least in this current 5th iteration of the plugin, unless Antonia or Henrik has something to say too. Let's get rid of this.
Did you say how to lock rooms and kick people?
Yeah, I already showed this. So
okay.
Just again to show people, I could now lock the room, which would prevent all people from the main room to join the game. And since I don't like Antonia, I will just kick her like this, and she actually gets her own room. And Antonia, if you be so kind, can you send me a direct message, or let's say I send you a direct message like this. Hi. Then if you are getting direct messages from people who want to harass you or something like this, you can also right click or close the direct message window and click on yes to ignore all messages from this player or from this person for the rest of your Vassal session. So if you close down Vassal and restart it, this ignore is gone, so they can text you again. But yeah, usually people aren't that motivated to go on your nerves, so it's usually fine. So this is how to use Vassal, and I hope you guys have fun with it. So since I'm probably going to end the YouTube video here by YouTube, and maybe we'll do on Twitch stream a short game or so. I don't know. Maybe Antonia wants to play against Henrik and I want to watch or so.
Yeah, but I thought you wanted also to show logs and screenshots, no?
Already, yeah, screenshot just like I said, just take a screenshot of the victory points and the map, and the log is the same. How to start a log I showed at the beginning. Just begin log file and then select a folder where you want to store it, and then I can actually show how to load the log too. Let's close down the game.
It's basically kind of cool because you can go through the whole game step by step. So each thing which creates a message, like rolling dice or moving figures around, is one step in this file, and you can just press the arrow button at the top left and go through it. And then you can also make screenshots of several situations afterwards by just clicking the screenshot button when you are at this part of the log.
Yeah. Is there a dedicated screenshot button in Vassal?
Yes, it's a camera.
Where? Oh, it is there. Yeah. It is in the actual main window, so you can just use this or just use your operating system screenshot function. Would work also. So how does the log actually work? Is it real time? Is it like real time, or can I fast forward? Do you know? Because it's the first time.
I think you can only go step by step through each message by clicking on the arrow. I don't think that you can fast forward in some way, not as I am aware of.
Okay, yeah, I just found it. So you can also undo, so you can scroll back in the game, and you can of course click through the game. So now you see Hendrik preparing all his units, and this is how. This is how the log file would work in this case, and it also should show the actual dice rolls, right?
Yes. I think it's one step for each message posted in the window, and dice. Each die is also one message.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it. So if anybody of you guys are searching for skirmish partners, just join us on Discord. We have dedicated channels for that, and there are always people looking for opponents.
Yeah, on Discord there is we opened up a server where you can. There's already a guy looking for a game right now. It's Marvo. However. And to join there, just go to HTTP what is it called? Whatever. Go to discord.me/BWEU, I think it is. Let's see if this actually works. So it should be discord.me like this, and with this you should be automatically invited to join the server, and there you can find people to play with. Just select or just write at everyone, and you'll highlight everyone in the chat, and they will be notified that someone is looking for a game, and everything.
Yeah, but just do that if you seriously want to have somebody to play at this very moment. Don't write at everyone all the time, or we might want to mute you.
we will swing the ban hammer over you. No, we are not that bad. So. Okay, so that's it for Vassal. I'd say bye to YouTube, and maybe Hendrik and Antonia will still play a game, and I will watch. So bye YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.